Thoth, the ancient god of wisdom, left a secret that only 1% of humanity would understand. And this secret explains exactly why your life repeats itself, why you attract the same relationships, face the same financial problems, and feel the same anxiety, no matter how much you try to change. The truth is that the universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to an invisible transmission that you emit 24 hours a day. In this video, I'm going to show you how modern science has proven that this transmission is real and how you can change this signal in the next 60 days so you never go back to being who you were. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about reprogramming your reality from the quantum level. If you feel you've been called to understand this, stay with me until the end, because what I'm going to reveal can change everything. And if you're ready to awaken, comment, "I am the law." All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts and made up of our thoughts. If you've made it this far, it wasn't by a simple click. It was a calling, a silent echo that traveled through time, originating from a wisdom few know, the wisdom of Thoth. He knew that reality works according to a law hidden from most people. Think about your life now. You strive, follow the rules, make affirmations, visualize success. You try with all your might to create the life you dream of, but something always seems to pull you back to the same place. It's almost as if an invisible force is preventing you from moving forward, keeping you trapped in a cycle you can't break. This feeling isn't your imagination. It's real, the same types of relationships that end the same way. That financial ceiling you work so hard to break, but which seems made of steel. That anxiety deep in your chest that appears for no reason, even when everything seems to be going well. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Why, despite all your conscious effort, the results always seem to be the same? This isn't a sign that you're failing, it's feedback. The universe is showing you that your approach is incomplete, that a fundamental piece of the puzzle is missing. The truth is, the universe isn't listening to the words you say. It's not responding to your conscious thoughts. It's reading a much more powerful transmission, a language you emit 24/7, even while you sleep. A transmission that reveals who you truly believe yourself to be at your deepest, most unconscious level. And it's this transmission that has kept you trapped in the same patterns. The good news, you can learn to decode this signal, and more than that, you can learn to change it. And that change begins with understanding exactly what this invisible transmission is that defines your entire reality. Your energy transmission is not a metaphor. It's a scientific fact. Researchers at the HeartMath Institute have proven that your heart generates an electromagnetic field nearly 3 meters wide around it. This field is a sphere of living information, your true voice in the universe. And it doesn't transmit what you think or say, but rather what you feel and believe at your deepest, most unconscious level. This energetic signature is your true identity to the universe. It's a summary of all your emotions, beliefs, and traumas, most of which operate below your conscious awareness. This is why change has been so difficult. You try to change with your mind, but the universe is responding to a much more powerful transmission, the raw truth of your heart field. You can spend the day claiming to be prosperous, but if your energy field vibrates with fear and worry about bills, the universe responds to the vibration, not the words. You can visualize love, but if your energy carries the pain of a broken heart, loneliness will continue to be your reality. Your life is not a reflection of your effort, but an invitation from your own energetic transmission. The universe is not a genie that grants wishes, it is a mirror that reflects your frequency. It is an impersonal law like gravity. It doesn't judge or punish you, it only reads your energetic signature and returns experiences that correspond to it. If you transmit a victim frequency, life will give you more reasons to feel that way, maintaining the cycle. True transformation begins when you stop fighting with your mind and learn to decode that transmission. The power lies not in new affirmations, but in understanding the signal you emit. The ancient Egyptians knew this and developed a technology to work with this field. They had a name for the energetic blueprint that shapes our reality, a secret that has been forgotten. The two bodies you didn't know you had. The ancient Egyptians did not see human beings as we do today, a simple union of mind and physical body. For them, we were multidimensional beings, a complex symphony of different energy bodies. In the mystery schools, where the deepest knowledge was taught, the basis of all their spiritual technology lay in the understanding of these subtle bodies. They knew that to change the material world, it was first necessary to work on a level invisible to the ordinary eye. And two of these bodies are absolutely crucial to understanding the secret of manifestation that has been lost over time. These bodies are the Ka and the Ba. The Ba is what we recognize today as our physical body, the densest manifestation of our consciousness, the vehicle we use to interact with the material world. It is the body you can see and touch. Most people live their entire lives believing that the Ba is all they are. They focus all their energy on caring for the physical body, on satisfying its desires, and on trying to force reality to mold itself from this dense level. But the Egyptians knew this was a fundamental mistake. The true secret lay in the Ka. The Ka is your etheric double, your energetic body. Think of it as a quantum blueprint, an invisible mold that precedes and informs matter. Everything that exists in your physical body, in your Ba, first existed as an energy pattern in your Ka. Your health, your vitality, and even the circumstances of your life are a direct reflection of the state of your Ka. Thoth, the scribe of the gods, often depicted with the head of an ibis, symbolized precisely this ability to see beyond the veil of physical reality, to perceive and interact with the Ka. The Egyptian priests and initiates did not try to force reality to bend to their will. They did not shout at the ocean. Instead, they worked to rewrite the energetic blueprint. They understood that to heal a disease in the physical body, Baya, it was first necessary to correct the distortion meaning in the energetic body, Ka. To attract prosperity, it was first necessary to imprint the frequency of abundance on the Ka. They knew that if the blueprint was perfect, the physical manifestation would be a natural and effortless consequence. Physical reality would automatically reorganize itself to match the new blueprint. You possess both of these bodies right now as you read these words. You have a Ba, your physical body, and a Ka, your energetic body. The problem is that our modern society has taught us to focus all our attention and consciousness only on the Ba. You have been operating with half the instruction manual, trying to move a marble statue by pushing it with your hands, without knowing that you could simply alter the mold that created it. You have been trying to change the results of your life without ever having accessed the root cause, the energetic field that is generating those results. And here's the most fascinating part. Modern science, in its quest to understand the fundamental nature of reality, is unknowingly beginning to prove the Egyptians right. Quantum physics is revealing a subatomic world where energy and information are the basis of everything, a world where solid matter is merely an illusion. And in this quantum world, the idea of an energetic mold is not only real, but also reveals that this mold is not fixed. It contains, at this very moment, infinite possibilities for your life. The idea of an energy mold containing infinite possibilities may seem like science fiction, but quantum physics, the most fundamental science we have, is showing that reality is much stranger and more malleable than we imagine. One of its most mind-blowing principles is that of quantum superposition. In simple terms, it states that a subatomic particle, such as an electron, does not exist in a single place. It exists in all its possible states simultaneously, in a cloud of potentiality, until an observer measures it. It is the act of observation that collapses this cloud of possibilities into a single concrete reality. Now, stop and think about the deeper implication of this for your life. If everything in the universe is made of these same quantum particles, that means you too are in a state of superposition. At this very moment, in the vast quantum field of energy and information, all possible versions of you already exist as a probability. The version of you that is completely healthy, the version that is financially free, the version that experiences deep and true love, the version that is at peace and fully fulfilled. None of these versions is a fantasy that you need to create from scratch. They are potential realities already existing. This is not a new idea. The ancient rishis, the sages of ancient India, spoke about this thousands of years ago. They called this understanding Sankalpa. For them, Sankalpa was not a simple wish or affirmation, it was a seed intention, a precise command that you plant in the unified field of consciousness to select which version of reality you wish to experience. They knew that the universe was not a void to be filled, but a plenum, a hole full of infinite possibilities, waiting for a consciousness to choose one and make it real. This completely changes the concept of manifestation. Manifesting is not an act of creation, of bringing something from nothing into existence. It's an act of tuning in. It's like having a radio with infinite stations already playing simultaneously. You don't need to create the music. You just need to turn the dial and tune in to the frequency of the station you want to hear. Similarly, you don't need to strive to become a new, prosperous, and happy person. You only need to adjust your personal frequency, your energetic signature, to match the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. This version of you, who already has everything you desire, isn't in the distant future. It exists now, on a parallel timeline, at a different vibrational frequency. It's waiting for you. The work isn't building a bridge to get there. The work is becoming the vibration of that reality here and now. When your personal frequency matches the frequency of your desired reality, the bridge disappears. Your current reality transforms to reflect your new attunement. Things don't change so that you feel different. You feel different, and then things change. But here's the challenge, the reason why most people never manage to tune in. To tune into a new radio station, you first need to know what station you're tuned to now. You can't just randomly turn the dial hoping to find what you're looking for. You need a starting point. You need to honestly look at your life and the results you're getting, because they are the most accurate indicator of the frequency you've been transmitting. And this process of self-investigation is the work of a true archaeologist of the soul. The archaeology of your personal frequency. Before you can tune into the frequency of the life you desire, you need the courage to discover which station is playing in your system right now. This is the work of an archaeologist of the soul. It's not about blaming or judging yourself, but about an honest and objective excavation of your own quantum signature. It's like a doctor who needs to diagnose the disease before prescribing the cure. You need to understand the programming running in your subconscious so you can then rewrite it. And this energetic signature is composed of 3 main layers that operate together. The first layer is your baseline emotional frequency. Think of it as your default internal climate. It's the emotional state your nervous system automatically reverts to when you're not being stimulated by something external. For some people, this baseline is anxiety, a subtle feeling that something is wrong. For others, it's frustration, irritation, or a mild sadness. Even if you have moments of joy, this baseline frequency is your return point, the vibration you emit most of the time. And this emotion has become a chemical addiction for your body. The second layer is your identity structure. This is the set of unconscious beliefs that form the story you tell yourself about who you are. These are phrases that loop in the back of your mind, such as, "I'm not good enough," "I'm never lucky in love," "People like me don't get rich," "Life is a struggle." You didn't choose these beliefs. They were programmed into you by your family, culture, and past experiences. But they have become your truth, defining the limits of what you believe is possible and what you believe you deserve. The third layer is your belief system about the world. These are the truths you've accepted about how reality works. Beliefs like you need to work hard to earn money, all relationships end in pain, the world is a dangerous place, you can't trust people. These ideas govern your decisions and expectations, causing you to see the world through a filter that constantly confirms these same beliefs. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as you've been programmed to believe it is. These 3 components, your core emotion, your identity, and your beliefs, create a powerful quantum feedback loop. Your energetic transmission, shaped by these layers, attracts life experiences that correspond to it. These experiences, in turn, reinforce your beliefs and emotions, further strengthening your original transmission. It's a self-perpetuating cycle, maintaining the same patterns of scarcity, loneliness, and frustration in an endless replay. That's why, despite all your efforts, nothing seems to truly change. This is the moment for radical honesty. To look at the results in your life, not as punishment or chance, but as the perfect reflection of your transmission. It's an uncomfortable step because it means taking 100% responsibility. Your current frequency, even if painful, represents your comfort zone. Your ego, the identity you've built, has a deep investment in keeping everything exactly as it is, because, for it, any real change is perceived as a form of death. But all the great spiritual traditions of the world, from Buddha to Christ, point to a way out, a path to transcend this limited identity. This journey to transcend limited identity is not new. All the great spiritual and philosophical traditions of history, though using different languages and symbols, point to the same transcendental truth. They were all trying to show us how to escape the prison of our own minds. Buddhism, for example, speaks of discovering your Buddha nature, your original face, before your parents were born. This is not poetry. It is a description of a state of pure consciousness, an essence that exists beneath all the layers of conditioning, beliefs, and traumas you have accumulated throughout life. Mystical Christianity, often hidden beneath literal interpretations, speaks of Christ consciousness. The teaching of dying to the old self and being born again in the Spirit does not refer to an event after physical death. It refers to a psychological and energetic process of abandoning identification with the ego, the identity based on separation and fear, and being reborn into the consciousness of unity, of unconditional love. It is the recognition that the divine spark, the kingdom of heaven, is within you and not somewhere external. In India, the ancient philosophy of Vedanta teaches about self-realization. The ultimate goal of this journey is the recognition that Atman, the individual self, your soul, was never truly separate from Brahman, universal consciousness, the source of all that exists. The feeling of being a separate self, an isolated drop of water, is considered the fundamental illusion, the cause of all suffering. Liberation occurs the moment the drop realizes that it is not in the ocean, but that it is the ocean. What is crucial to understand is that all these traditions are not describing an intellectual concept that you must believe. They are describing a real quantum phenomenon, the shift in identification. It is the transition from identifying with your limited and conditioned self, with its stories of pain and limitation, to identifying with your true nature, which is limitless, unconditional, and eternally free. It is a shift that happens at the level of frequency, of vibration, and not just at the level of thoughts. What you normally call me, that voice in your head with its opinions, fears, and stories, is just a temporary radio station. It's a frequency you've learned to tune into, and with which you've identified so deeply that you believe it is you. But there are infinitely many other frequencies available for you to transmit. The frequency of peace, joy, abundance, creativity. You are not the radio station. You are the radio, the device that has the ability to choose which station to tune into. And this is where ancient wisdom meets cutting-edge science. Modern neuroscience, by studying the brains of advanced meditators, monks, and people who have had profound transformative experiences, has discovered the exact mechanism in the brain that allows us to make this frequency shift. They have identified a specific brain state, a brainwave pattern that acts as a direct access portal to the subconscious operating system, allowing us to consciously begin to switch stations and rewrite our own programming. Theta Gamma, the brain's gateway to the quantum field. If the key to changing your reality is changing your frequency, the million-dollar question is, how exactly do we flip the dial? The answer lies not in yet another positive thinking technique, but in a specific state of brain function that modern neuroscience has managed to identify. This state acts as a direct access portal to your quantum signature, your subconscious operating system. It is known to scientists as theta-gamma coupling, and it is the secret to real and lasting transformation. Let's understand what this means. Your brain constantly produces electrical waves that can be measured. Theta brainwaves, which operate between 4 and 8 Hz, are associated with deep relaxation, the dream state, hypnosis, and access to the subconscious. It's the state you're in between sleep and wakefulness. On the other hand, gamma brainwaves, which vibrate at a much higher frequency, between 30 and 100 Hz, are linked to heightened awareness, intense focus, and moments of great insight. The famous aha moments. Normally, these two states are mutually exclusive. You are either relaxed and sleepy, theta, or you are alert and focused, gamma. Most people go through life without ever experiencing the combination of these two states simultaneously. Theta-gamma coupling is exactly that, the union of two opposites. It is the state of deep relaxation of the body and analytical mind, combined with extremely sharp focus and awareness. It is having the body asleep and the mind awake. And it is in this state that the magic happens. Neuroscientists who placed electrodes on the heads of Tibetan monks, Franciscan nuns, and other advanced meditators with decades of practice discovered something impressive. During their deepest meditation moments, when they reported experiences of unity, bliss, and transformation, their brains consistently exhibited this theta-gamma coupling pattern. They had trained their brains to enter this state on demand, giving them direct access to the layer of consciousness where reality is programmed. The good news is that you don't need to spend 40 years meditating in a cave to access this state. There's a practical protocol, a sequence of steps that anyone can learn to consciously generate this brain pattern. By following this protocol, you can calm the analytical mind, the guardian that protects the subconscious, and open a direct door to your internal programming. In this state, you're no longer just thinking about your energetic signature, you're feeling it in real time. Being in this state is like having administrator access to your mind's computer. You can feel the emotions trapped in your body, perceive limiting beliefs as programs running in the background, and, most importantly, begin to install new programs. From this state of heightened awareness and deep relaxation, you can begin to sculpt your quantum signature. You can intentionally generate the elevated emotions of gratitude, love, and joy, and teach them to your body, changing its frequency from the inside out. It is at this point that manifestation ceases to be a struggle and becomes a natural process. When you begin to consistently practice accessing this theta-gamma state, something extraordinary begins to happen. It's not a change that occurs overnight, but a gradual transformation that leads to a phenomenon known to scientists and mystics as coherence. Quantum coherence is the point at which internal conflict disappears. It's the moment when your conscious intention, what you say you want, and your unconscious transmission, the frequency you actually emit, merge and become a single, unified transmission. Think about it. Most human suffering comes from inconsistency. You want prosperity, conscious intention, but you feel fear and lack, unconscious transmission. You want health, but your body is chemically addicted to stress. You want love, but your energy field transmits distrust. This internal division creates an energetic tug-of-war where your willpower pulls in one direction and your subconscious programming pulls in the other, much stronger. That's why you feel exhausted and frustrated, as if you were driving with the handbrake on. The practice of entering the theta-gamma state and generating elevated emotions begins to align these two sides. You are literally teaching your body and your subconscious how to feel in the reality you wish to create, even before it manifests. Day by day, you are weakening the neural connections of your old self and strengthening the connections of your new self. You are changing your body chemistry from addiction to stress hormones to addiction to well-being emotions. You are reconditioning your energetic signature. Generally, after a period of 40 to 60 days of consistent daily practice, many reach what can be called the quantum threshold. This is the inflection point, the moment when your new energetic signature becomes stronger and more dominant than the old one. It's like pushing a large rock uphill. At first, it takes a lot of effort, but when you reach the top, the rock starts rolling down on its own. The new frequency becomes your default state, your new normal. The signs that you've crossed this threshold are unmistakable and, at the same time, subtle. You wake up one day and realize that the underlying anxiety, that constant feeling that something is missing or that something bad is going to happen, is simply no longer there. It hasn't been suppressed or ignored. It's absent. In its place, there's a quality of well-being, peace, and fulfillment that doesn't depend on anything external. You feel complete even before you have the things you thought you needed to feel complete. In this state of coherence, manifestation ceases to be something you do and becomes something that happens through you. Synchronicities become the norm. You think of someone and that person calls you. You need a solution and the answer appears in a book or in a conversation. The right opportunities, the right people, and the right resources begin to flow into your life in ways your logical mind could never have predicted. But there is a very specific reason why only 1% of the people who learn about this actually get this far. The 60 days that separate 1% from the other 99%. Knowledge of this quantum law and the theta-gamma portal is incredibly powerful. But intellectual knowledge, by itself, transforms absolutely nothing. You can understand every concept explained here, but if there is no application, nothing changes. It is consistent application, day after day, that separates the 1% who truly experience this transformation from the 99% who merely discuss it, watch another video, and then return to the same old life. The reason for this enormous disparity is not a lack of ability, but an internal enemy called resistance. Your old frequency signature, the identity that has governed your life until now, won't simply relinquish control without a fight. Think of it as a computer program that has run for decades. It has a self-protection system. The moment you decide to change, the moment you sit down to meditate and access the theta-gamma state, that old programming will manifest as a voice in your head. It will come in the form of doubt, saying this is a load of rubbish, it won't work. It will come as procrastination, giving you 1,000 other more important things to do. This resistance will also manifest as self-sabotage. Perhaps you start to see small positive changes and suddenly you have an inexplicable urge to do something that throws you back into the old pattern. Or perhaps you start to feel that it's not working after only a few days because your mind is addicted to instant results. The old self prefers 1,000 times the comfort of familiar suffering, of pain it already knows and knows how to navigate, than the frightening uncertainty of an unknown transformation. For the ego, change is death. That's precisely why an unwavering 60-day commitment is crucial. The science of neuroplasticity shows that this is, on average, the time it takes to deactivate old neural connections and create and strengthen new ones. It's the time needed to cross the desert of resistance, to go beyond the point where most give up. These 60 days are your training ground. It's the period in which you prove to yourself and to the universe that you're serious about your evolution. It's not about being perfect, but about showing up every day, even when you don't want to. Each day of this period is a test. Every moment when doubt arises, when laziness strikes, when the voice of self-criticism screams, you are faced with a choice. The choice between conscious evolution, which demands discipline and temporary discomfort, and unconscious repetition, which offers the immediate relief of returning to what is familiar. You are literally in a battle between your future self and your past self. And your consciousness is the battlefield. Every time you choose to sit down and do the work, you are voting for your future. You are being invited right now, at this very moment, to make a choice that will define the trajectory of your entire future existence. This is not an exaggeration. The decision to commit to this process, to endure the resistance for 60 days, is what separates a life of continuous repetition from a life of limitless possibility. It's the line in the sand. And what awaits you on the other side of this journey, after crossing the threshold of resistance, is not just a better life. It's the greatest revelation of all about who you truly are. By crossing the threshold of resistance and stabilizing your new frequency, you don't become a superhuman or a master who controls the universe with their mind. The transformation is much deeper and at the same time simpler than that. You don't gain external power. You return to your innate power. You finally return to your natural state, which is the universe itself experiencing itself through a unique perspective. You stop seeing yourself as a small part trying to influence the whole and realize that you are the whole expressing itself as a part. This is where the wisdom of Thoth is fully revealed. You finally understand, on a cellular level, that knowledge is useless without application, and that true power lies not in controlling reality, but in becoming the frequency of reality you desire. You stop fighting the world and begin to dance with it. You understand that you were never in a hostile universe that needed to be conquered. You are the universe, and you have always had the ability to change your own frequency and simply watch reality rearrange itself in response. This is the return to the quantum home. It is the reclaiming of your birthright as a conscious frequency generator. Life ceases to be a series of random events or a constant struggle and becomes an intelligent and loving feedback field. You realize that every situation, every person, every challenge that appears is a direct response to your transmission, showing you where you are still inconsistent and giving you the opportunity to align yourself even more with your truth. The world becomes your teacher, not your enemy. The law, in the end, is ridiculously simple. Reality responds to frequency. Period. Your personal frequency determines your life experience, and your frequency, as you now know, is not a fixed destiny, but something that is under your conscious control. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, a boat adrift on the ocean of life. You are the captain of your ship, the master of your vibration. You may not control the wind and the waves, but you can adjust your sails to go wherever you want. If you've made it this far, you're part of a minority that isn't satisfied with superficial answers. You felt the calling and went all the way. To let me know you truly understood the central message of this knowledge. Leave the phrase "I am the frequency" in the comments. This way, we create a community of people who are awakening to their true power. If you feel this content has added value to your life, and you want to help this channel grow more directly, there's a contribution link in the first pinned comment. Any help you can give is very important to me so I can continue spreading more messages like this. But understand that just by watching until the end, you're already helping immensely. If you can, share this video with someone you think needs to hear this. And before you leave, your journey doesn't have to end here. I've prepared a special video to delve even deeper into what we've discussed and give you the next practical steps, so don't leave yet. Click on the video that's appearing on the screen now, and let's meet there.